yes, is being recorded.
Excellent, excellent. And of course, the actual awards event is recorded as well. Oh, that's wonderful. Definitely. Okay. Kaylee, we should maybe invite people to ask some questions and to talk a little bit about, I could give a lecture on networking, but that's not what we're here for.
I have a couple of questions.
I see a hand up over here. Yes.
I'm just wondering from the group, how has networking changed in 2020 and how do you see it changing going forward as far as business owners, entrepreneurs? How do you connect? Maybe we have some innovative ways we could share with each other in order to better our communications in this new world.
Well, we'll put it out to the audience and then I'll jump in at the end. Kaylee, you're going to have to coordinate.
Sounds good.
So just raise your hand and Kaylee will let you into that conversation.
Oh, Andre, I'll unmute you.
Yeah, of course. Well, things have changed a lot over the recent year because of the COVID situation and all that. So now we are meeting people virtually instead of meeting in person, so which is very different. I find always that I always try to meet people in person, but it's getting more and more difficult. So we have to learn new ways of communicating virtually. And I think it's gonna last for a while. I don't want to be pessimistic, but it seems like it's gonna last for a while.
Who else would like to weigh in?
How about the students? Are you first year? Are you second year? How have you overcome meeting new friends and new colleagues virtually? Oh, Erin, would you have your hand up? Perfect, I'll unmute you.
Hi, sorry. Yeah, for me, it's definitely been challenging because PR, I definitely signed up in this being like, oh, a lot of in-person things, a lot of virtual things, but I think it's really cool. Just the one kind of part with it is that we're learning PR from such a different perspective. We have a course later in the year, crisis communications. So we're seeing a lot now is how a lot of businesses and how a lot of firms are trying to go about it with communication and trying to still have all these stable relationships with each other when you can't do it as much in person because, you know, luckily we have technology for that. So I think that that's been like a big force with us. And yeah, so I'm enjoying my online classes personally, and that's what I got to say. So it's going good.
Kaylee, I saw Mathieu had his hand up as well.
Awesome, thank you, Erin. I'll move it over to you, Matthew.
Yeah, I found it a bit different because, you know, obviously everything is done online now. And personally, I'm the type of guy who does cold calls and I just like to show up. So especially now, I find it's a bit more of a waiting game, especially like when trying to be persistent with networking and stuff, having to meet a client or even just, you know, go to the door and say who you are and say hello to kind of get your foot in there. I found that was kind of tough because I feel it's a bit taboo sometimes. Like, I don't know if it's weird for me to go in there and say hello because I don't know how they feel about everything. So that's why I find it's hard to adjust. But I just find using emails and stuff has been more, I'm getting better at using emails and stuff since then.
I can't see the entire screen. Kaylee, who else is going to jump in?
So I'll reiterate the question for those just signing on. Oh, there's Danielle Drew from College Boreal.
Thank you, Kaylee. I think an important component is even before COVID is the sense of loyalty. So historically, you had a business doing the same business for 5, 10, 15, 25 years, and you didn't really have to prove yourself. It was just that loyalty, and you've always done business with that individual or that business. What I've really found over the years is the value for money proposition is becoming more and more important. So it's a combination of getting to know the individuals, getting to know the business, but having that value for money proposition. So not necessarily what you could do for them, but what they can do for you. And I think when it's a win-win situation, it's absolutely critical. So I think historically, chamber events or events at, after 5 or 5 to 7 was really well attended. I found with the new generation now, family life is very important. We got hockey, baseball, a lot of social events, a lot of family events. Those after work events aren't necessarily as well attended. So how do you attract individuals? How do you encourage individuals to meet in some other type of fashion to continue this ongoing, important social aspect of business?
So true.
Thank you, Danielle. I see Marissa has her hand up. Over to you, Marissa. Oh.
Just needed to unmute myself. The challenges of technology. One thing I'd like to mention is, or maybe ask of the group, what other challenges have you overcome as business owners, as people contemplating getting into business, for our students, of course, in the new COVID, post-COVID, interim COVID 2020 era? What challenges that we haven't talked about besides networking have presented to you, and maybe to talk about the unique ways we've overcome them? I feel like each individual business, besides sharing, within your own organization, what your methods have been to overcome some of the challenges, but we often are missing that key component from business to business that the Chamber really provides us to be able to discuss what our different objectives are and how we've overcome a lot of our challenges. So I'm really kind of missing that. So maybe some of our folks here who are on the call today can chime in and let us know what they've been doing.
We'll open it up, Kaylee. Let's get some hands.
Perfect.
I saw Bobby Dysinger down below, and there's somebody who's got a business that's very hands-on.
All right. Oh, Andre's got something, so I'll unmute Andre, but I'll find Bobby.
Okay, so the only thing I want to say is it's been very frustrating for us to get supplies from suppliers. Everything is slowed down and everything is so hard. Every supply is so hard to get. It's very, very frustrating. So we had to be inventive and try to find different suppliers, because we buy products that come from all over the world. So that's been a big challenge. I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but for us, it's been very challenging.
Do you mind if I just jump in for a second? I want to mention that one of my things is to try to wear a different mask every day. And when I do make my cold calls, which Matthew was talking about, I actually have the benefit of having a reversible mask. And people love when I come in the door one way, go back out, pick something up, and come back with a different mask to go, wow, that's great. And they're fun ones. We need fun at this time, because it's really important to keep up our spirits a little bit. I see Sean Poland down below, and there's somebody who can definitely keep your spirits up. Sean, hello.
Hey Hugh, how are you? How's everybody else? Good to see you all tonight.
Oh, Sean's got delayed action. If we call Sean back on in just a moment, but I did see Bobby who's going to weigh in from the business side of the world, because her world depends very much on the supportive nature of both her employees, but the people who are coming to her. With sometimes very great needs as well. Is Bobby able to join us? And then we'll get Sean.
Hey there. Can
Bobby.
you guys hear me?
Hi, Bobby.
Hi, Hugh. How are you?
Oh, I need a massage.
Oh, I miss seeing you. I miss all these events and all the real live person networking for sure. I was excited about tonight, and I was interested to see how this was all going to play out, doing a little networking via Zoom. So I'm very happy that the Chamber has has put together this new age networking event prior to our big gala tonight. The times, they are changing for sure.
Bobby, how are you dealing with the question that Marissa posed to us? How are you bringing in that relationship with customers despite the challenges?
Well, fortunately, my business has bounced back post-COVID, or I guess we're mid-COVID, after our closure very well. I have seen an enormous amount of support from our community, from not just our previous clients coming back, but the community as a whole being really supportive of small business rallying together. You know, my business is downtown, and definitely the downtown businesses are really trying to support each other. We've had, you know, our hospitality industry is not faring as well, not being able to host as many people as they're used to, and the restaurant hospitality industry is really struggling. So we've tried to help with innovation for them and be supportive. And I think that's one thing I'm seeing a lot of that I love is just the community coming together and seeing the best in people. You know, social media shows us sometimes the worst in people, but out on the streets in real life, I'm seeing a lot of heart in our community that's very positive and really uplifting.
Very good. And let's go back to the man who is positivity himself. I think Sean is able to join us again. He's unfrozen. We're going to unmute him. Here we go. Oh, 1 second there, Sean. I think you're with us. Hello, Sean.
Hey, Hugh, and I feel I got unmuted somehow earlier, but love the question and love some of the feedback that people have given so far. I'm going to give an old-fashioned response to that question, and regardless of what time, this era of COVID or anything else, a customer, a partner, a business partner is still our partner. And we've got to find ways to listen. And very early in my career, somebody indicated to me, reminded me, as I was probably coming in hard and heavy with a pitch, said, you know what, we've all been given 2 ears and 1 mouth. And this is probably the best time to ask our partners questions and then listen and figure out how we can help them out. For example, I listened to my longtime friend and dear colleague, Daniel Giroux, and he mentioned baseball and hockey. So this is reminding me that the next time I see him, I need to remind him of all of our time spent on the soccer pitch together. Because clearly as he's getting older, he's struggling with his memory a little bit, and I'm gonna help fulfill some of those long forgotten needs that he has. But at the end of the day, there's one thing that you might take from this is we should spend at least twice the amount of time listening to our friends, our family, and our partners, and figuring out how we can meet their needs. I think it was Andre that mentioned his suppliers are having some challenges. If I was networking with him, I'd be listening to that and trying to think about how I can help him meet his business needs. So with that, I will turn the floor back over to you, Mr. Crizel.
Thank you very much, Sean. And it's actually, I went one step further. 2 eyes as well in the equation, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 20% of the time to talk, 80% of the time to listen and watch. So you know what? That's right. It's just like a game of cards. I've one-upped you.
You indeed have.
Who else is going to jump in? Or do we have, maybe Marissa has another question that she'd like to, I know that she is full of all kinds of investigative spirit in this topic.
Oh, I'll unmute you.
Well, certainly I am naturally curious, and I always like to learn from my peers to understand their challenges. And like Sean said, oftentimes we find opportunities when we're helping each other and helping the community stay together and the economy stay strong, which is really what the Chamber of Commerce is about. And I'm just curious, of all of the events that we've had over the years for the Chamber of Commerce, which ones are your favorites? Which ones are your most memorable? What do you miss the most of the Chamber events that we typically have in person? And we're just chomping at the bit to be able to host one here at BMW.
It's so true. You know, these events are a feature of every month on my calendar anyways, because I get to see people I don't get to see in a normal day-to-day interaction. And for me, it is that chance to meet with Bobby and see Sean and see them all in one place. And it's well, we're lubricated a little bit often by alcohol, I will say this, and it makes it probably a little bit more enjoyable.
Speaking of alcohol, sorry, Kathy, to call you out. I see that you've got a really nice drink there, but I did want to introduce you to our group this evening. So Kathy is a finalist in the Service Excellence category, and I'm so happy to have her on today. Actually, I've got a couple more finalists signing on. We've got Ashley Kerwin from Orwick's Geoscience. She is a finalist in the Young Entrepreneur category. Fun fact about the Young Entrepreneur category, there's 3 finalists in each category, and in the Young Entrepreneur category, there was 3 females that made it to the finalists. So that was really exciting. So hello, Kathy, and hello, Ashley. Nice to have you here. Oh, I might have seen some hands.
Oh, hi, guys.
Do you have any comments you want to share with us about being a finalist? Is this an exciting period for you? Oh,
yeah, it's extremely it is really exciting. It's been very interesting in the past few months for everybody, and so yeah, I think anybody who's an entrepreneur or a business owner knows that it's been very, very tough these past few months, but at the same time, there's a lot of opportunities. So I think it's been really exciting to get to know the other people who are also in the category. And it's great to see that it's a few, it's a lot of females as well. So it's really exciting.
Kathy also had her hand up. I saw that earlier. Maybe you could bring her into the conversation. There we go. We're going to unmute Kathy.
Yep.
Unmute. There I am.
There we
Hi.
go. Hello.
How are you? It's nice
Lovely.
to see you. I just wanted to say for our company, it's our 25th anniversary. So it makes it like super more exciting and super more special when you get nominated for an award like this, because we've worked so hard over the years, and we have such, I feel, amazing staff and clients, and I just, on my end, that's the excitement about for us at our agency right now. It's a special time for us.
I also want to notice that there's Dawn Condon has joined us just down below as well. On my screen anyways, there's a little shout out to you. There we go, Dawn. Hello. I might ask a question, because there are various industries represented here: education, sales, of course, healthcare, and physical care as well. Is there something specific in your industry that makes networking really work or really quite a challenge? And since I mentioned John, maybe you just want to weigh in for a few seconds on your world and what challenges are you facing and what your wins have been.
Yeah, it's been, you know, I'm a yoga teacher, a yoga therapist, and I have a yoga studio here in Sudbury. And of course, when the lockdown hit, I was the first one out of the gate and said, everything I'm doing is going to go online. I had no clue how that was going to happen. I didn't even know what Zoom was. And then I was on some chat rooms with some other yoga teachers who'd already been through this around the world. And they were talking about Zoom. I'm like, well, what's this Zoom? So within 24 hours, I had it figured out, and everything I had to offer went online. So I was able to keep things going, which was really nice, and serve a lot of people, because I spent a lot of time with seniors and service a lot of seniors. So I was able to service a lot of seniors. It was a struggle trying to get some of them to understand how this platform worked. I mean, it was a huge learning curve for all of us. So it wasn't just them that was struggling, but, you know, it was a little bit easier for me because I picked it up a little bit quicker. But to Yeah, so it was interesting. I kept that going through the summer, and then when we were able to open up again, I started inviting more people in the studio, and now that September is rolling around, registration is up. Now the interesting thing is, because I am a face-to-face business, my business would have depended on my neighborhood. So being strictly in Sudbury and only servicing the Sudbury clientele, the nice thing is now I can expand out. Because I'm in the South End, I wouldn't have been able to get anybody from the Valley to come in, or Cape Real, or any of these outlying areas to come to my studio. So they would have missed out on that opportunity to develop a yoga practice. So now I have the capacity, because I'm working with this really wonderful team from NORCAT to help me develop a marketing program, but they're going to help me build that platform so that I can reach that bigger group of people and say, hey, just because you're in Cape Real, you can still come to yoga class in the South End, and anybody who feels uncomfortable, leaving their house at this point. Some of my seniors still feel a little uncomfortable with that. So I'm still able to service them. So it's kind of been an interesting process. It's been a bit of frustration. It's been a lot of tears on the floor, balled up in a ball, curled up in a ball crying. But it's been just like, it's been an interesting process. It really does expand my business out a lot.
And Don, you've touched on something really important. This expansion for some businesses, and Sean and Danielle, in your world of education, this has changed the entire equation for those who are in sales or manufacturing here in Sudbury, members of what used to be called SAMHSA, which is now called Mind Connect. This has created a whole new dynamic for them. And I'm glad, Don, that you highlighted the fact that this has changed, but it creates a tingle down your spine, thinking about the opportunities of expanding to the larger world. Is there somebody who can also validate that in their world, that suddenly they went from being Sudbury-centric or neighborhood-centric, which is a very good thing to do, to becoming much wider, much greater reach across the north, across the world? Is there anybody in there? I know you have, because your clients are coming from all over Northern Ontario, because there's no other BMW dealership.
That's right, Hugh, and we're very fortunate that we have the technology that we have today in order to do virtual walkarounds with people who are not in the Sudbury area, yet they still want to come and see the vehicles and see the features that are offered to them in the different lines and the different brands that we offer. Especially here at BMW, we've got a lot of curious folks outside of Sudbury, or maybe just even at home, who don't feel comfortable coming out depending on their current situation, health situation, etc. And we offer virtual tours of the vehicles where we will go around and take as many pictures as possible and do contactless purchasing and delivery. So it's a silver lining for us, really. I hate to say it.
There has been a plus.
Yes.
Definitely. How about anybody else? I see a hand up there from Amy.
Yep, and then another one from Danielle.
I was just gonna say, like, even as a student, our world has gotten so much bigger as far as prospects for employment goes, because with the world being online, our employment options are unlimited. We could, without the aspect of having to be face-to-face in the office and being able to work through problems online and through Zoom and with Microsoft Teams and all of that stuff, it really makes it possible for somebody to live in Ontario, work in Vancouver, or even live in Ottawa and work in Toronto or something like that. So it's really, yeah, I agree. There is some plus signs, there's some negatives obviously too, but it has definitely made our big world even bigger.
And I love the fact that you've got the Eiffel Tower behind you. You've got having that great background like I've got behind me right now is so important in your presence as well. I saw a picture of Jamie West recently. He was wearing a great shirt, a great jacket, but he was wearing PPE mining pants down below. So we really don't know quite what's going on out here, but we know from here up, the shoulders up, because you're there. There we go. There was another hand too, I saw.
Yep, Daniel Giroux from Boreal.
And I think when there are tough times, it forces us to really innovate. And I'll just give you a couple examples from a Collège Boreal perspective. And more people were spending time at home. So whether even in health services, social services, people were spending more time at home. So we came up with French as a second language, which would be offered online free for essential services, for social services. So it's an in. And obviously, once you get a taste, it's not that bad. It's a lot of fun. It becomes a way of selling it afterwards, right? So that's one course that's free, and there's another 9 coming afterwards. So that's one example. The other example is we know that the borders are currently closed. Attracting international students, one of the challenges we face is the quality of English. So English as a second language is a challenge. So we started offering English as a second language online, so international students could actually move ahead and get prepared. So when the borders actually do reopen, they will be ready and better prepared to actually migrate or to immigrate to Canada. So those are just 2 examples. From a student perspective, and I know that was mentioned a while ago, I think it's a great opportunity for our students. It's, gives them an opportunity to be independent, disciplined, learn sometimes from Collège Boreal perspective, the face-to-face, because there are courses that are still in the labs. But having an opportunity to learn at a distance gives you that flexibility to work anywhere in the world. So I think you got to look at the other way and how much opportunities it actually gives our future graduates.
Danielle, it's so often that we think about Collège Boreal as being an exclusively francophone institution, but there are courses that are taught in English. Aussi, à Laurentian, Université Laurentienne, il y a des cours en français. Et I'm sure, Sean, you have courses as well qui sont disponibles en français. Is that correct?
No, and I'd love to say that at Cambrian, we speak très peu de français, meaning we offer exclusively in English, and we leave the French delivery to our colleagues in the city who do a fantastic job of that.
From a Boreal perspective, it's where we offer training in English or Spanish or Mandarin or any language of choice in contract training. So for a company actually paying specific training, whether it be mining industry, forestry industry, agricultural industry, we'll teach in the language of their choice. And we have a lot of national training projects that are taught in multiple languages.
Oh, brilliant. The things we don't know, but I would say to you, Daniel, it's wonderful that you're offering a course for French language acquisition. Thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you.
We are getting to that time, aren't we?
We are getting to that time. Ashley, did you want to jump in? I saw that your hand was up earlier.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment about mining. So mining definitely is all about relationships. So when this happened, we were wondering how can we market our services when it's all about networking and being together at conferences. And we very quickly realized that typically as geologists are all over the place, but this summer everybody was at home. So it was a really good opportunity to just catch people at home and have very quick one-off meetings to spread the word about our company. So we're able to do it that way. And I also think there's a big opportunity realizing that our employees no longer need to work in the office 5 days a week. And it's been really great to, kind of show them that their version of quality of life, not having to commute all the time, maybe living on the outskirts, coming into work only a couple days a week. I think we'll realize that we'll be able to retain a lot of our employees by having like a flexible work environment moving forward.
Brilliant, brilliant point. Definitely.
All right, anyone else want to add in some comments before our time draws to an end?
Oh, I see Dawn's hand waving.
Sure, we'll go to Dawn, then we'll go to Matthew, and then we'll wrap it up.
So I kind of missed some of the beginning of us, so we may have talked about this already, but I'm always sort of concerned about those businesses that don't have the option of going online. So like a restaurant, that depends on you actually going to the restaurant and either picking up the food or sitting in the restaurant and eating, or those places that, like maybe a car manufacturer where people have to actually be in that location. So I'm kind of curious as to how those kinds of industries are going to move forward, because, you know, a lot of us here are all able to have the capacity to work from home or have some sort of office job, right?
It's going to take some creative thinking. And I think if you have a solution, give a hand up, not a handout, to your colleagues in other industries. Help them in some ways, Don, move forward if they can. Some people are shell-shocked at this time. We just don't know what the depth of the challenges that are facing our colleagues, the places we love to shop at. Think of clothing retailers, shoe retailers. Real tough world.
Yeah. So I think for me, I feel the need to, and I have reached out to some of those restaurants and, you know, those smaller coffee shops like Salute's around the corner from me. So to reach out to them and say, let's do some kind of partnership thing where, you know, where we're supporting each other and sending business each other's way more so than we ever did before.
So important. Kaylee, we had another hand up.
Yes, we did. It was Mathieu.
Yeah, I think one thing that's actually been great is, you know, when we're faced with adversity, it's really tough at first and we think, oh, how are we going to get out of this? But once that all passes, new ideas come, innovations come, new ways of doing business, new ways of finding solutions. And it actually opens up the horizons for a lot more opportunities than we thought we did. And it's kind of neat to see how everybody worked out in their own way. And it's really nice to see everybody, you know, supporting each other and just seeing all those new ideas come from an issue and creating a good solution. And it'll just keep happening. It's awesome to see.
Thank you.
I think people in the north are very agile. We face the adversity of winter, this year, the adversity of rain, and we've coped. And some of us will face further challenges, but I think you're right. We will come out stronger from this. And I think businesses like this one will continue to not just survive, but thrive.
Absolutely, Hugh. Well, as the countdown begins, I'd like to proceed with our draw for the Palladino BMW prize pack. So without further ado, I'm going to draw a name.
Now, I just had my car detailed here. I don't know what is in the prize pack, Kelly. Maybe Marissa needs to weigh in on that. I don't know.
All right. The winner is Neil Petrin from RBC. Is Neil still here with us? Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm here.
Wonderful. Congratulations. I will be in contact with you. So before we log off, I would like to thank everyone for joining us this evening. As I said, the countdown is on. Thank you to each of you for joining us tonight, coming together and celebrating and championing the Sudbury's finest entrepreneurs and local businesses during a very challenging year. One thing we can take away from this evening is how resilient our entrepreneurs and businesses are. Now it's time to tune in to CTV Northern Ontario's live stream link. The link has been emailed to you, or if you cannot find that, that is on the top of our Facebook page. So tune in, and congratulations to all the finalists and nominees. Have a lovely evening. Thank you so much.
Bye for now, folks. Bye for now.